Oh, you know what? When you bought winter equipment, did you spend any money for red?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay, go ahead and do that now. Whatever you guys spent on each of your equipment, go ahead and spend that for red. And we'll just... Because I'm going to assume that red was smart enough to be like, oh yeah, I need like heavy clothes and winter boots. Because if you don't have those, you'll be taking exhaustion levels and you'll be sliding all over this ice.
How much does that cost?
I think I priced it at 150% of whatever just the common outfit was. Like a commoner's outfit out of the PHB, and they bought some for everybody, except they didn't get boots for Windy or Adrex because they've got claws on their feet.
Also, Adrex is a white dragon.
Yeah.
Right, but that doesn't mean you don't slip if you don't have claws on your feet. Anywhere where you see solid lines in this dungeon is a wall, and the walls here are semi-transparent. You can see bizarre shapes and light moving through them. It also means the whole dungeon counts as dim light, because you have the twilight overhead coming through the ice. Anywhere you've got jagged edges, like where you're standing now, is open to this thousands and thousands of foot drop beneath you. And I tried really, really, really hard to push somebody off that drop last week, and it didn't happen.
It almost did to me.
It almost happened.
It almost doesn't count in D&D. It doesn't count unless I actually get to say, all right, roll up a new character.
Do you really want to say that, though?
Are you kidding? It's like, have we not met? So last thing you guys did is you came into this room here. I need orange to move your hand. Thank you. I'm an idiot. I have no gray matter in my head, so my personal copy of this map doesn't have the numbers on it. I must have exported that and uploaded it to Imgur, but didn't actually save a file locally. So I actually do need to see the numbers on our map today. So you guys had some fun with the quicklings, and you came in here and you met some winter wolves.
Yeah, we almost got Peninsula powered.
A little bit. I like that reference.
So
We made that reference last time.
that was a joke from Brickfoot.
Alright, so I know that Nodal was keeping track of the party loot sheet. You all have access to that, so you all know like what potions and things you found and treasures in this dungeon so far.
Yeah.
Also, Destil, take a... let's see, so I gave one to McDohl, or one to Nodal, one of the scrolls to Nodal. I gave one to Birdie. So I have two left. Red, take a scroll of cold resistance.
Okay.
Also, Birdie, not Birdie, Wendy had the last key. We got off the last quickling.
Can we just, like,
Yeah, Red picked
pull
that
that
up.
out of hammer space?
I don't know how you guys forgot. Red was here last time and he picked up that key.
Yeah. He was very useful in the fight against them Nephids.
So the first key had a... Oh man, that Nephid fight was so wonderful. I'm going to do that again. The first key had an hourglass, and you didn't need it because you already popped that chest and triggered the trap, which was funny for me. The second key had a goose. This third key you just picked up has a skull.
Well, the second box was stuck in the ceiling. I managed to grapple hook it down and then ended up destroying the room in the process. That was fun.
That was over here at number 7, which is why half of 7 is now dead. And you guys were pretty severely injured after that fight.
Yeah, we were beat up pretty badly.
I'm gonna go really quick grab an allergy pill so I'm not sniffling on stream the whole time.
Okay. I took me a slug of Dayquil before the stream today.
Well, since we just wrapped up combat, I will go ahead and walk over this way and retrieve my javelin.
Okay, you slip off and die. Roll up a new character.
No.
Standing from there, you actually can see the... Oh, let me make sure that you can actually... There's anything to see down here. Yeah, there's just another little space over this direction.
Okay.
Yeah, that javelin's just poking out of the side of the wall there.
Yeah.
And you reach out over the lumbering abyss and you pull the javelin free from the ice.
Yep. I'll return to the rest of the group.
Was there any features in room number 12? The wolves were picking apart. So there's a giant bloody carcass in the center of the room of whatever animal that these wolves hunted down and dragged here.
Sorry, it's just been utter hell here for the last week.
Yeah, we're going into spring. It's around here. It's going to be utter hell for the next couple months. All the pollen in the air and everything. Ugh, it's the worst. I'm going to stay inside for the next 3 months.
Okay.
This squiggly bit here, this didn't collapse, right? This is a pile of
Debris.
Oh, this was the stairs going up that he tried to climb, and it crumbled out from under him. That's right. Okay. So that's difficult terrain, because it's a big pile of packed, shattered ice and snow.
Birdie almost died there.
That's right, because he was on this square, and I had him roll a d8 to see which direction he slid. So... So yeah, what's next?
I'm really eyeballing this potion of healing I've got, and it might be a thing I want to chug.
I think we should.
We just stopped for an hour before we did this, and then terrible things happened.
Wait, what are we doing? Sorry, I was looking at my shoes.
I know he's speaking in character as Adrex, but I
Are
like to
do
think...
you? Because I don't.
I can't ever tell.
I get this picture of in one of my mom's old photo albums of me and my brother when we were very young. There's a picture of my brother when he was like 3 years old, and he just got new shoes, and he's looking down, and it's the happiest child you've ever seen in the world. That's McDohl right now. Just, oh, they're on my feet.
They're not by my shoes. I was confused. So maybe I was speaking as Adrex. Maybe I was just being me.
Raazu.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I was going to kind of peer down that hallway.
The hallway continues down and then makes a sharp turn right.
Raazu lets out a whistle. Calls everybody to come along. And
Sorry, I'm burpy today again too. Fuck.
And this hallway continues for about 60 feet. Oh, I gotta get a new color here. That's not gonna work. There we go. And you see, well, how far down the hallway do you go?
nah, they're just seeing what's down there first, and then I'll start moving forward.
From there, you see this frosted over iron portcullis blocking off transit through the rest of the hallway. Remember, the ceilings here are between 10 and 12 feet high, considering. But there is no squeezing through there. And you can see it goes off to another 60 or so feet ahead of that, then turns off to the left. Presumably to connect with the other side of the bridge going over this gorge.
And
Is
it's
there
frozen too.
The iron bars come down from the ceiling. Considerably more of them. Because remember, this is the Feywild, and they need to keep out small creatures as well as medium. But yeah, there's considerable ice and frost covering the whole device. Make a nature check.
You got it. I believe that's a 9. It is a 9.
Oh, did you tell Destil that you managed to spellcraft your first spell?
Oh yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did we figure out what was wrong with the rune the last time we tried?
we think we did. We'll know.
So, what I'm thinking. So, oh man, I wish. If you look at the spellcraft sheet, if you have that open. Oh, you corrected it. Lovely. The little. You notice that all of our cantrips have the same top segment.
Yeah.
Well, when I tried to do it with that little triangle segment that was on Dominate Person, and it didn't work. So this time, I just tried it with that the lower, like 2/3 of the symbol and the little top segment that we share our cantrip with, and it works. It works.
So,
I can
our
cast
work-
Dominate Person now.
Our working theory at the moment is that the top is kind of to show who bestowed the power, basically. Kind of like a patron or something.
So who does this 6? What does this nature 6 turn into?
9.
A 9? Yeah, it looks like the portcullis is iced over.
Is there a lever? Is there a pulley of any kind?
Now
Or
you
just
can
edge?
see.
See? Okay.
Raazu, or Adrex, give me a hand. See if we can maybe lift this thing.
Sure. All right.
I'm low on options here. I mean, it may not, but
You both are going to
See,
get down
yeah.
and lift it.
who's got the bigger number? Probably Adrex.
I'm 19.
Yeah. So I will
All
aid
right.
you in that.
Okay, go ahead and make just strength. We can call this athletics because you're just basically trying to deadlift this gate. Remember Ben Barr's lift gates? Second edition was so good.
At athletics, that is a 25.
25. How about you both make me a Constitution saving throw?
Constitution saving throw? Sure. 17.
17.
More than a 17.
How did Adric do?
20.
A 20.
Sorry, 23.
Okay, both of you take 4 points of cold damage. As you grab onto this gate, you start to lift it. Your warm gear does not protect you from cold damage, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just from the exhaustion effects of being in the cold. Adrix, you're fine because you're a white dragon. Yeah, you start to lift this gate, and Adrix, you notice it first. Immediately, you see the frost kind of crawling out from the gate, coating over your glove, and then getting underneath your wrist. And before you even get a chance to actually put some muscle into it, you instinctively let go, and you smack Raazu's hands away as well. You're pretty sure that prolonged contact with this gate, you will freeze to it. You will be encased in ice, and somebody will have to break you free.
Okay, well,
Don't
so
touch
much for
that.
that.
Smack.
Glare.
It's gonna freeze you. We try to pull it out. We shouldn't do that. Methinks magic is afoot.
What do you want? Do you want a home set and a pipe now? Is that what's going on?
Well, to be fair, he is an elf expert, so he knows a thing or two about magic. Okay, so
So I guess either we go up into the fortress via that south passageway, or we try and see what else is further north, because we haven't looked that way.
I think we should look up here first.
That's probably a good idea, yeah. So let's go ahead and start traipsing.
I like how Red's all adventurous because he has all his hit points and everything.
Adrix is alright.
Raazu is very much not.
Stop there. Raazu. What number is this? 8. Raazu, make me a strength saving throw.
God damn it. 13.
13. Which side of the wall do you want to be on?
God damn it!
Fucking hell!
Red side or Birdie side?
Red side.
Okay,
Here we
put
go.
yourself there.
Jesus.
We're
Really,
doing this
Rick?
again?
We're doing this again.
No sooner do you guys step through than the wall snaps up, just like it did before. This time in the other direction. Previously you were traveling from east to west, now you're traveling south to north. So you guys on the south end, you still have open access to the other parts of the intersection, but you are cut off from your companions on the other side.
I'm in no condition to deal with another one of these walls.
Did you explain to Destil what the walls were?
Yes, bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
I didn't get any impression that they've actually made any progress at just chipping them away or whatever.
They did eventually. They started
Yeah.
doing more damage to the wall, and then faster than Mephits could spawn in.
Maybe we should
Maybe we should split up, gang.
Yeah.
Don't think that's a good idea.
Said Keelian.
You're right, because Adrex would be, yep, let's split the party, not dealing with that bullshit again.
To remind the class what Adrex's flaw is.
That sounds like a good idea.
Raazu looks into her pouch and then pulls out the potion of greater healing, takes a deep breath, and chugs it.
Okay.
Because I need to. I am so super tapped right now.
So two of you are gonna explore to the north, the other two are gonna explore to the east.
Yeah.
I guess we'll we can hear each other barely through this wall, right? I recall that being the case
You
last
can't.
time.
There was, unless you after a few rounds of combat, you could, because there was a hole punched through the wall. But no, I mean it's a thick almost 5 foot thick wall.
If only one of us hadn't given up their message spell.
Yep. So that potion of greater healing is now kaput.
Adrex he's sitting there, he's holding his axes out. He's just give me the word. I guess we're gonna do this.
I think we should go look and see if there's another way around first, because the last time we could always come back and chip this away later, right?
Yeah. Oh, I can't really be part of that
Alright,
conversation.
well, stay really close to me. And Adrex sort of...
Climb up on Adrex's back.
Alright, that'll work too.
So you're up on Adrex's back, and it's very unnerving because you're about 6 feet away from where you can safely dig pits. And you two up there at north, you see the vague shapes of your friends on the other side of the semi-translucent wall disappear as they continue walking to the east. Or to the west, not east. They're
All right,
facing
so,
east, they're walking west.
Wait, now? Yeah. So Thieves' Cant allows you to understand simple symbols and messages.
Okay.
So I'm going to carve one such symbol into the wall for Birdie to understand, meaning, let's try and meet up later.
Okay.
I mean, if I can see it, then okay.
Not very deep, just deep enough that it'll be visible.
I'm reminded of when Jennifer Connelly tried that in the documentary Labyrinth. So what are you guys in the southern edge here doing? We're walking east?
West.
Birdie
West?
is
God,
basking
I
in
don't know east from west.
being so tall.
One of you guys was carrying something cumbersome, weren't you? Like a big jug or something?
Oh right, I'll just hop down then.
Oh, alright.
Ruin my fun.
I don't know
Hold
why
on.
you were carrying a big jug.
So, these walls... Sorry, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They just appear. There's no indication of, like...
It tilted up
there's a
from the
divot.
floor. So it's like a 5 foot, like 10 foot high, the center intersection here. Folded upward to the north as soon as Red traversed it. Raazu was standing in the intersection and passed her strength save, so she got to pick where she ended up. So it's not like the wall just appeared out of nowhere. It actually snapped up from the floor, leaving this small indentation in the floor now.
This area here... Fuck. This area here... Okay. There's no indication of... Like, oh, clearly there was a door there, and we just walked across it. Alright.
There is now, because there's a little, like, indentation of 4 or 5 feet you have to step up out of.
Okay.
But when
There's
you
a one,
cross
like-
the intersection in this direction, nothing happens.
Okay. And there's no indication that, like, there's a second door waiting to spring up underneath it.
I mean, you already walked past it and it didn't happen.
Alright. God damn this. God damn everything. Okay.
So we do have a pretty nice 10 by 10 pit right here that Birdie admires.
All right.
And
Yeah.
the
then
walls are made
let's-
out of. Is it just the walls are made out of ice and the floor is made out of hard packed snow, right?
Most of the sections of floor are hard packed snow, but there are areas of the floor that are made out of ice instead.
But the walls are pretty uniform.
Yes and no.
Okay. Well, I was just contemplating digging like this, but that's probably a bad idea.
So what are you guys doing now that we know what you're not doing?
Very carefully walking west.
Okay. We need to invent a new direction called West so I don't get them mixed up anymore. And we have no dark vision between you two, right?
No. Shit.
All the dark vision's on the other side of the wall. What are you guys doing on the other side of the wall? Same thing, just different direction?
Yep.
In that case, I'm gonna light a torch.
We can't.
And
We tried that.
Try to strike your torch and the
Did
fire
we?
refuses to
Okay.
light.
Oh,
The only one of us that had any light was Windy, but that torch also just provides dim light, so didn't really help.
why are we...
And you guys get to the end of this corridor, and it turns off left.
All right, come on.
Destil. You're moving too fast.
He's ready to go.
Peer around the corner to this room. Let me see how much of it I should... Actually, that's probably about how much I should show you for now. Looks a little bit more opulent than the other rooms you've seen. The other rooms you've seen so far have either been empty and featureless or just corridors. This looks like it might have been once a ceremonial room. You see that the room, while it's still dug out of what amounts to a solid block of ice spanning the gorge, has been carved into tiers, kind of steps leading up to where, in the past, a raised dais or altar might have once stood.
But it looks like it's already fallen into the chasm, right?
The back of this room actually is... Oh, yes, it is. Yes, the back of the room where a ceremonial altar might have once stood. Yeah, it looks like it's crumbled away.
Be real careful, guys. And then that's the dais going this way, or
No, the dais would have been up here.
or that way. Okay.
So what is it?
And you guys on south see the same thing from the other direction.
Raazu waves.
I mean, we can't see you waving, so...
Raazu lets out a whistle.
And when you guys get that close to the stairs here, you can see in the ground carvings in the ice itself that you can trace, indicating lettering or maybe heraldry, but you can't read anything now. It only strikes your eye because it's strange to see carvings that look like you might see across a decorative stone altar, but done in the ice and hasn't frosted over. And as Raazu crosses the room, you start to hear faint clacking and chittering noises, but you're not sure from where. Somewhere in the room. The vastness of this room makes it a little bit echoey and hard to pinpoint. And Red, you're going over to the little alcove over there?
You're muted, Destil.
Were those stairs on the left, were they going up or down?
Up. It looks like there was
Okay.
a raised dais up here, but it's crumbled away, and now it just drops off into the ground.
And then over here where red is this lowered at all, or is this entire level, other than that, flat?
It's level with the rest of the room, but the last 5 or 6 feet of this room looks like just a giant mound of loosely packed snow, stacked maybe 2 or 3 feet high against this wall. And now that you're looking at it, you think that maybe the floor of this room, it looks like somebody has shoveled it and pushed it against the side in this alcove.
Can I do an investigation check to see if there's anything interesting in the snow?
Are you digging around in the snow?
Yeah.
Okay. And instead of investigation check, how about Birdie moves back to where he was and make me a initiative check.
Initiative check.
Yeah.
So Destil, I didn't get a chance to tell you, but I had a little bit of extra money and I splurged and bought myself the Kobold pressed Tome of Beasts, which is just a massive 500-page book filled with monsters. So I've been enjoying that.
Did you really roll a 1?
Yep.
Well, don't feel bad. I rolled a 3, but I have +9 to my initiative, so.
Seems like you're cheating now.
Get +9 to your initiative. What nonsense is this?
He cheats. Obs.
I'm role playing Sonic the Hedgehog. It's amazing. +9 to initiative.
I mean, it doesn't really help unless I actually roll well.
Did you all place yourself on the initiative board over here?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
believe so.
Red, do you have any... 1? My god. What'd you do?
I rolled a 1.
Okay. Red, do you have a class feature or anything that prevents you from being surprised?
No.
Then you are surprised.
Let's be real. Are we really surprised? Oh.
Jesus, dick
Oh.
nipples.
This is the worst dungeon. I hate it here.
Ice levels are always the worst.
Red,
Mm-hmm.
you start digging around through the snow, and you immediately feel something clamp down on your finger. It really smarts. You jerk your hand back, and then you see the source of the clattering and chittering noises as these bizarre, hard-shelled blue crabs start crawling out of the loosely packed snow. Their left claw looks like you'd expect. It looks like one of them snapped at you when you put your hand in and started digging around. The right claw, though, instead of resembling the typical crab pincher, kind of trails off into this long hair-like tendril.
And how large are they?
They're tiny. They're little
Okay.
guys. There's enough meat that one of them would be a good meal, though. How many of them can... Looks like 4 of them can reach you. Alright, I got a 15 to hit.
Actually, I think that misses now. Let me double check.
You got that studded leather armor.
Yep. Where did I put that on? 16. Yep, that misses.
Okay, then all this is going to miss. They don't snap out at you with their little pinchers. They try to snap at you with these whip-like tendrils. And you can see they're aiming for your neck. And you kind of hit the ground and try to back away as more and more of these crabs come skittering out of the snow. So... Adrex is surprised. Birdie's surprised. Raazu is surprised. Birdie gets what?
Birdie can't be surprised.
And Birdie can take an action. Right now, you can see like these 4 crabs closest to Red, and maybe 1 or 2 of the other ones kind of climbing out of the snow. You're not sure how many in total. Lots.
So like these 4, like all this right here.
The ones are directly in front of him. But I mean, let's be honest, it's not going to matter here in a minute because tracking HP for 10 of these guys.
Okay, I'll just take my bow out and shoot one of. I'll shoot this one right here in front of.
I'm not the biggest fan of 4th edition in the world, but I do believe in giving props where it's due. And I always use 4th edition minion rules whenever it's appropriate. Super useful.
Well,
That's a 1. So the arrow just hits the snow, and a crab did not die. That's going to bring us to Raazu, who is surprised. Red, you're no longer surprised, but you've got all these crabs all over you.
Red has crabs.
The snake has crabs.
you're still muted, Destil.
I don't know what's going on with my headset. They'll have an armor class of 9?
And what are you attacking with? Your knife?
Rapier.
Your rapier? So you stab your rapier deep in the snow, but you don't feel it hit any of these crabs. It looks like they're digging and tunneling through this snow fairly expertly.
Cunning action, disengage.
Okay.
Withdraw to there. That's the end of Red's turn.
All right. Crab battle.
Tiny enemy crabs.
It's harder to hit the weak point for massive damage.
Snake. That's a Kenyan mangrove crab.
I get that reference.
I should hope so.
But is it tasty?
Well, he did say they might make a good meal.
I said they're big enough to fill your belly. You don't know how they taste.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to figure that out now, aren't we?
This is where I really missed the message spell.
What does that cecal feces taste like? All right, that's going to bring us to Adrex. They're all lined up for a convenient breath weapon.
Yeah, I'm sure my cold breath weapon will really get them.
Oh, did you let Destil know that you've learned that you don't have a breath weapon at the moment?
Oh yeah, Adrex's breath weapon is gone.
Oh.
Did you also?
I think we knew that from the session I was here.
Did you
feel
explain
like
to him
that
that
came up.
you know what happened to all these abilities now?
We
Yeah,
did.
no,
I
I
don't
got
know if he
that.
was listening.
Oh,
I got that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So Adrex, you're just advancing on these crabs?
Stop. No, I'm going to hurl an axe at this one.
Okay.
He sounds so mad.
That is a 18.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
So they're not quite 4th edition minions. That's what I'm hearing. Since clearly they have hit points. That is a big, massive 5 damage.
5 damage?
Yeah.
I do sometimes use actual 1 hit point monsters, but
These aren't them.
a lot of times for swarms like this, I'll still keep track of what their maximum hit points are. So I know if you kill them in 1 hit, but if you don't, I'll just kill them on the 2nd hit, regardless of how much damage they've taken.
Nope, you just bloody them on 1 hit and kill them on 2. That's the best way to run minions.
Well, good news. I have a 2nd attack.
Okay.
Because I'm a level 5 fighter.
I mean, you've cracked its shell with that first one.
16 to hit?
That'll hit.
Yay! For... I'm at 6 damage.
Yeah, like, see, that wouldn't have been enough
damage.
to kill this monster, but since I'm running them as minions, we have destroyed 1 crab.
6 damage. That's
Moving or staying put?
I'm going to stay put. I am good.
Okay,
It's
gonna
I don't
bring
think
us
I can
to
hit.
Birdie.
Birdie's going to advance here, and then he's going to reach into Adrex's pockets and dig around for the Word of Radiance scroll.
Okay, does Adrex make any move to stop him from doing this?
Just digging through Adrex's pants.
I mean, any other time if we weren't in combat, probably. But Adrex is focused on killing things, so
Okay, Birdie, make an investigation check. And you're not sure if, through the hurried combat, or if it's Adrex doesn't keep his pack organized properly, but you start rooting through his pockets and everything. You find all this brewing supplies. Why are we even carrying 30 pounds of brewing supplies through the Arctic tundra here? But no, you do not find the scroll on his pack.
Is that a scroll of radiance in his pocket, or is he just happy to see me? No. Okay. I guess that's my. Unless I still get my attack, that's my turn.
No, that was good. And you know, Raazu, you are so last. I'm just gonna skip you. Like you're just. I feel like if you
Fair.
have a 1, you just don't deserve a turn. No, go ahead. Kill one of
That's
my
fair.
crabs.
Absolutely. Don't mind if I do. Wow.
I
Wow.
seem to recall we got a lot of 20s last time.
Yeah,
Wait,
I think this is just karma coming back to roost. Yeah. Extra attack. Let's do this. That is. Let me make sure it's still +6. I think it is. I'm just because I haven't done this in 2 weeks. That is a 19 to hit. Yeah.
19 will hit. Question:
Answer.
if Raazu strikes an edible opponent and uses smite, does it automatically cook the opponent?
That would be a DM call,
Like,
but
does it-
I would say yes.
Can radiant
That's-
damage cook the
That's.
food?
Yeah, but think I'm out of that right now.
I would say it
No,
can
no,
only
I'm
cook
just
the
saying
food, but
slots.
cleanses poison, toxins in the meat.
Take 9 points of damage to this closest one right there.
Okay, and you crack that one's shell, and you're staying where you're at.
Yep.
Okay. Back to red.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull a dagger off my belt and throw it at this one.
Okay.
Well, the armor class of 21.
21 does hit. In case it comes up this session, we'll also say that red is carrying the magic dagger that Wendy had.
Oh right.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you.
You've been
That'll
getting
deal
all
7
that.
damage.
Okay. You spear that one through the soft bit in its face. it
And
snaps.
minor action, throw a dagger with my offhand. That'll hit 9.
9. And now your dagger's laying in the snow amidst this whole skittering mass of crabs.
And that's the end of Red's turn.
Okay. I'm going to swarm you guys with crabs now.
A likely story.
Curses, if only I had gotten the AoE scroll. Curse Adrex and his uncoordinated pants.
My pants are fine. You're the one who's rummaging through them.
Listen, don't be upset that everyone found out that you keep your pants disorderly.
Alright, it's going to get real fun for Raazu here in a second. Alright, we're going to start with red.
Yep. Sure.
Red, I've got a 9
Misses.
and a 23.
Hits.
Okay.
This is where we find out that
Go ahead and take
Big crab.
5 points of slashing damage,
Mm-hmm.
and you are grappled as this whip-like appendage comes lashing out around your neck and is surprisingly sharp. And you feel you're being choked. You open your mouth, but no sound comes out of it.
I'm going to actually take 2 because cunning action, or not cunning action, uncanny dodge.
Yeah, you half the damage, but you don't do anything about the grapple.
Yeah, I'm
effect,
still
right?
grappled. Yeah.
Alright, now I'm going to grapple Raazu from 4 different sources. Raazu, I can just throw away these 2 1s, right?
Sure. That's fine.
Okay, I've got a 10
Nope.
and a 15.
Nope.
As 4 of these crabs skittering around you. They lash up. Try to grab you around the neck, but no such luck. Escape DC on that grapple is only 10, but it does use an action to try to escape. One day I'm going to use these creatures against level 1 characters. It's going to be fantastic. And that's going to bring us back to Adrex.
Alright. I'm gonna smash the one that's grappling. Since now I'm in melee range. That is a 15.
15 will hit.
That is 10
You were
damage.
that crab.
How much?
10 damage.
10 damage. Okay, you go ahead and you crack the thing's shell, but it has not loosened its grip on Red's neck.
Really? Fine. I'm gonna stab it again. That is 26.
26 will also hit.
That is 7 damage.
And Red, you feel the groat around your neck slacken and slide away as Adrex kills the crab that was holding on to you. Adrex, moving or staying put?
Staying put, because I'm going to stab this next crab with an offhand attack.
Okay. Feel good to have your bonus actions back?
See, you jinxed it.
Oh.
9.
Did you just Keelian that bonus action?
A little bit, yeah.
By the way, Keelian's a verb now.
Yeah. No, obviously.
That's going to bring us to Birdie.
Since I'm not going to be digging through Adrex's pants probably ever again, I'm just going to shoot.
Somehow
this-
I doubt that.
I'm going to shoot this one.
Later this session, I'm going to go into Adrex's pants and build a trap.
That sounds awful for all involved.
That's 17.
Like one of those Chinese finger traps. The more you pull it, the tighter it gets. 17 hits. You know, somewhere at some point in history, two guys have gotten stuck in one of those. I'm sorry. How much damage, please?
The image.
46 because sneak attack
Yeah.
The image.
plus 22.
22. That's enough to take him completely out of the fight.
The image.
And are you moving or staying put?
I'm staying back away from the crabs. I don't need crabs. We'll leave that to the elf expert.
And well, also you're being swarmed, but these crabs seem to have great difficulty grabbing your neck with your heavy armor on and being so tall.
Yep. That's why you grow up tall. Eat your Wheaties, kids.
It's like, Birdie, you should
let's
try
go.
it. Just be taller.
Yeah. Does a 16 hit
It will.
one of these crabs?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Birdie only resents everybody else in the party for being taller than him just a little bit.
So 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay.
And then let's go ahead and hit that again because I'm pretty sure it's not going to kill it outright.
No, did not.
That to hit significantly more. And okay, now I rolled max damage 13.
13, and that's enough. Put this
Just
poor
take it
crab
out.
out of its misery.
Eeny, meeny, miny, that one.
You cleave it in half. Moving or staying put?
Staying put.
And now I need to check my notes for a second. Birdie, you're the first one to notice, but from around the corner, you see a large creature emerge. At first you think it's a monster, but then you realize it's like some kind of humanoid walking on its it's either a humanoid creature or it's a bear walking on 2 legs, one of the two. Great thick appendages and an enormous heavy great axe on its back. And it has the face of a bear as well. It's a bear man. There's bear man in the Kobold Press book that I'm talking about. This is what I'm getting at. Comes around the corner, says something in a very growly, grumbly language that you don't pick up, but you do recognize as speech. And it sees that you're just slaughtering all these crabs, and it reaches back and tentatively puts its hand on its battle axe, but makes no move other than that. That's going to bring us back to Red.
All right, let's go ahead and stab this one with rapier. That'll hit a
on that pointer there.
25 on armor class.
Okay.
8. I need some 6s.
Yeah, he is within 5 feet of an ally.
For 21 damage.
Okay. And you destroy this crab. And as soon as you do, you hear the creature standing at the doorway shout out something, again, in this grumbly language that you don't understand.
Move to here. Bonus action. Stab this crab
Okay.
with my dagger. That'll hit an armor class of 21
That'll hit.
for 1 damage.
For 1 damage. That's not a lot of damage. And then you're staying put there?
Yep, that's the end of Red's turn.
Okay.
Is it crab time?
Birdie, the giant bear man walks up next to you, and he's speaking something in his language. He's not shouting at you anymore. He's saying something. It sounds like a command being issued repeatedly. The same 3 or 4 words over and over again. All 4 of these crabs are going to leave some threat ranges here. We doing anything about that?
No.
Yep. Say 13 on armor class.
13 hits.
For 10 damage.
For 10 damage. And you've killed the next one as it turns to scurry away from you. The 3 that remain scurry back towards their snow pile. Is anybody giving chase?
No.
No.
Okay. And they get back to the snow and they dig and burrow back into it. And now you turn your attention back to this angry, not angry, but very gruff. And he looks very weary as well. This giant bear man wearing heavy furs. He's still holding the hilts, or the head of his axe, reaching back with one arm. And he's very warily looking you guys over. Slung over his back, you see a large net filled with fish.
I'll sheath my rapier. Just to make it clear that I don't intend to attack him.
Okay.
And I'll try saying hello in each of the languages I know.
Which is?
Common, Abyssal, Draconic, Sylvan, and Giant.
You see that he understands the Sylvan tongue, but he grimaces when he hears it. When you speak to him in Giants, he responds in the same language. He responds in Giant. He tells you that it's taken him many, many months to train those crabs as well as he did. And that he will expect compensation for the ones that you've killed.
Well, my name is Red. These are my companions. What sort of compensation?
He mulls it over a bit. He decides that 5 silver per slaughtered crab is a fair price.
I'll translate that for the group.
Let's see, so how many was that? 1, 2, 3.
You killed 7,
4.
so we're talking 35 silver.
Man, they attacked us first.
I mean, I'll say this in common, talking among my group. Do we get to eat the crabs if we buy them?
You're asking the bear man?
No, I'm talking to the group in common.
Raazu shrugs.
To be clear, he's not offering to sell you the dead crabs. He's just asking for compensation for having killed them.
Raazu shrugs and then decides to fork over the money.
Raazu fishes out 35 silver.
Yep.
He accepts it with the hand that was holding his axe. And you see your money disappear somewhere into the mountain of furs that this creature is wearing.
We're looking for, out of character real quick. We're trying to get to the queen, or we're trying to do something specific here?
You're trying to cross the gorge. And
Okay.
this giant ice block fortress sits in the middle of this bridge that spans this mile-long gorge.
And what's on the other side of the gorge?
You found the exit here, but it's blocked with this portcullis. The other side of the gorge is the palace of the Snowbelle Queen.
Okay.
You need to get in there, find the queen's scepter, and You've also been tasked with finding her magical apple orchid.
And we were also asked to
Orchard.
kill a dragon. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll tell them that we're looking for a way to get passage through this fortress to the other side of the gorge.
He looks you all over, and he's convert. Does anybody else speak giant or just red?
Nope, I sure don't. I think it's just red.
See, I have names down, but they're somewhere in the bowels of these notes that I haven't looked at in 3 weeks. So we're just going to go to fantasynamegenerators.com. And I'll update my spreadsheet.
Bowels. Maybe maybe his name is Bowels.
Oh, I have his name
No.
in my notes.
Bowels the giant.
He asks you, speaking in giant, he says that, and looking over your injuries, Red didn't really sustain that many injuries, just a cut on his neck. But he says since you're braving the dangers of the fortress, he expects that you're not on, though you know their tongue, you're not on speaking terms with Bethmere or Nanbog. And when he does this, he gestures upwards to the roof of the place.
No, we aren't. We've never been introduced.
Technically, I guess you haven't. The first time you tried to cross this gorge, the group, I mean, you made it all the way across to the other side, and then got killed somehow. And then after that, the Snowbelle Queen put 2 frost giants on top of the bridge, so you couldn't do that again. He looks at the rest of you. He asks whether or not they also know the giant's tongue.
I believe it's just me.
At this point, he begins walking over to the stairs leading up to the altar. You see him rest his heavy load on the ground, this large net of fish that he's carrying, and he lays down his large axe, unstraps his heavy wooden shield, and it's just like the weight of this man's journey being placed on the floor. He says, considering the circumstances, he's going to save the fish for another day. But if you'd like to join him, he will share the meat of these crabs that you've slaughtered.
Sounds good to me. Now I'll obviously translate back to common.
And as you're translating back, he begins speaking incantations, again in a language you're not familiar with, over his large axe. And it starts to take on like a dull orange glow. And as he's doing that, he begins taking the dead crabs, breaking the shells open, picking the meat out, and starts laying it out on the metal of this axe. What are the rest of you doing?
Birdie is standing immediately next to him watching the axe.
And if you're that close, I mean, you can feel the heat coming off of this axe.
Adrex is fascinated by this.
The man introduces himself as Fjolvar, and says that before he dines with you, he would have your names as well.
I'll translate that, and I'll say I'm red, and I will translate red into giant.
Rojo.
Spanish.
I'll let everyone else say their own names. Like,
Okay.
Oh, I'm Birdie.
Adrex!
He yells loud enough that the room starts to crumble. Does Raazu introduce herself?
Yeah, I said name.
Okay.
The name's Raazu.
And after you all say your names, he speaks again in giant. He says that he no longer regards you as strangers, and that he takes you for honorable folk, and he's happy to share what little he has. Then he says, you asked about the queen.
Nod.
He tells you that he has an accord with the Snowbelle Queen to ranger in her lands. He lives off of her woods and out of her rivers. And in return, he touches only those animals which cannot speak. That's what he gives you initially.
So about the axe, is it the axe, or did you do that to the axe? Can you teach me how to do that? Is that a thing that I can do? Can I make my bow shoot fire arrows? That seems pretty cool.
He explains
yammering
that
at him.
this is an ancient ritual amongst his people in order to create warmth where there is none. He says that part of his accord with the queen is that he not create open flames while within her borders.
Don't think he'd be able to if he wanted to. At least we have been able to.
Do you rest here? Is that why you train the crabs to attack?
He tells you that the crabs attack only if their nest is disturbed. He says that he's been training them to follow simple commands, to go where directed, to carry small things back and forth, primarily to pass the time and for amusement. He says he has no need of them for defense, and when he does that, he puts his large hand on the heft of his axe.
And do you range far into the Queen's territory, or do you stay mostly on this side of the gorge?
Well, he says he never crosses the gorge. He's not... The other side of the gorge would be Princess Dandelion's hedge. A place not welcoming for his kind. He's much more accustomed to the Snowbelle Queen's realm.
I'll take some crab and eat it, obviously.
Yeah. After a few minutes, the crab meat begins to sizzle and pop. And, I mean, he's just picking it straight up off the axe and eating it. There's enough for everybody to have a few mouths full.
Sure.
You have any butter?
He tells you that for supplies such as those, he has little need for such frivolities. But from time to time, merchants from the hedge will come across the bridge. The denizens of the Snowbelle Queen's realm will buy things such as butter and spices. Just because the climate on the other side of the gorge is not conducive to farming. So yeah, the crab meat is bland, but it's edible enough. Somebody make me an insight check.
I think I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay,
That would be a 24.
Fieldvar gives no indication of having met you guys before, which does strike you as odd, because you were told by Josiah, the Mokden, that you had crossed this gorge several times. Though you have no memory of it, it does strike you as odd that he apparently lives in this place and ranges the lands beyond, but you haven't crossed paths with him before. Everybody go ahead and take the benefits of a short rest while you're sitting here having a meal around this warm axe. And after all of the crab has been consumed, once again, he speaks the incantation, touching his hand to it, and the orange glow fades away. He picks up the axe out of this somewhat shallow pool of previously icy water. Makes a nice axe-like shape in the ground, but after a few moments it starts to freeze over, leaving a nice smooth floor again.
Whew, that's a lot of hit points.
Well, I guess I'll ask him if he's seen us before, and that we've apparently crossed the gorge several times, but have lost our memories of such attempts.
He shakes his head simply and says no. But you get the sense that there's more to that answer that he's not saying. Because until now, he's been very forthright and frank. He gives short, curt answers, but this strikes you as much more curt than usual. He says no, then immediately breaks eye contact and busies himself with something else.
And have you seen any sign of our passage? Have we killed crabs before or anything like that?
He says that he's noticed that Bethmere and Nanbog have been stationed on the bridge, which typically only happens when the queen has undesirables she's trying to keep out.
Well, if she's trying to... Well, Raazu uses on that. It says, if she's trying to keep us out, it seems strange that she'd want us back. After we've been in her realm several times.
Birdie raises his hand. How long have the two giants been stationed at the above?
He tells you he's just noticed them today, on his return.
Is he cagey about that?
No, just very to the point. Just gives a very direct answer. So he's familiar with these two giants, but he doesn't know how long they've been up there because he just got back today.
When did he leave? How long has he been gone?
He says he's been ranging for several weeks now. Up and down along the gorge. And where the flowing river meets it. Presumably that's where he got this nice net of fish.
Okay, well, that sort of answers one of the questions that I had about, how long in between each attempt we were doing.
And I guess I'll ask him if he knows a way to get through that portcullis, because we're pretty sure that's the other side of the gorge. That'll lead us to the other side.
Reasonably.
He asks you what your designs are entering the Queen's realm. He takes it that you are the Queen's enemies. Why is it you're so desperately trying to get into her borders? Why risk death?
Raazu shrugs and says, well, we're trying to parley with her, yeah? Looks to Red.